I've always loved maths and I have always loved art, but I didn't realize that loving both of these things would lead me to what I think is my perfect career, and that is software development. From making my first game in school to career switching from the health sector to finance to finally coding, here's why I think development is where problem solving meets creativity. So if you both like logic and you also are very creative, could this be the perfect path for you too? It took me quite a few years to realize that coding would be somewhat of a perfect career for me. But if I look back to even my school days, I guess there were signs, but I just didn't recognize them as a match. If we're going back to high school, I think I was always good at maths, and I didn't really think about it because in my mind, I wanted to work in the health sector. And so maths really wasn't something I enjoyed, but I was always naturally good at it and I got good grades in it. I was more focused on science and I did enjoy science as a subject. However, with art was always something in my life from when I was little that I did. My family is quite creative. My sisters and mum are great at art as well. And this carried on to me as well, and it's just always been something I liked, and this is both at school and as a hobby, and I guess I was relatively good at it. And I actually took CIDA, which in the UK is Certificate in Digital Applications, and for one of our projects we had to actually make a game. GameMaker is a game engine, I guess, that you can use to make games, and this involves coding and of course like UI, and I think I made a pixel game called Jungle Run where a girl goes through levels in the jungle, shoots monkeys that are throwing bananas at her. They were evil monkeys, and I didn't realize at the time that that's something I could do as a job, I guess. And because I was probably focused on like to be fair, I changed what I wanted to do. I wanted to do medicine, I wanted to do dentistry, optometry, but all kind of sciencey, health related, field. But in hindsight, I realized that I really loved doing like the UI for the game and also putting logic together to be able to do things like jump and shoot and, get lives taken away, etc. But that kind of never came to anything. It was just a subject that I did. Anyway, fast forwarding a couple of years, I ended up taking maths and the 3 sciences at A levels. I only took maths because I didn't know what else to take. And the reason I didn't take art is because I knew, because I had watched my sister do that, it takes up so much of your time. And I was just not wanting to take 3 sciences and art because I thought that would be really hard. So I kind of took maths as a subject because I did okay. I did good at it at GCSE. And then I got into a pharmacy course for my degree. And about halfway through, probably since the beginning, but about halfway through the first year, I realized I don't want to do this. I think I did a placement in a pharmacy and I hated it and I didn't want to do it anymore. So I dropped out, retook some exams, and then I applied for maths with actuarial science. So I was kind of sticking with what I knew. I knew I was good at maths, and actuary is a great career path. So that's what I did. I studied maths at university with actuarial modules. And then I started working as a student actuary. So I worked in that for about 3 years. And guess what? I didn't like it. And it wasn't the maths that I didn't enjoy. I think the job, maybe it was my jobs that I found boring specifically. But obviously it's applying your maths knowledge, but especially I had 2 jobs. In the second job, it was just so boring. And there was no it was very corporate. There was no kind of, culture, like nice culture. Of course, that can just be down to the company, but also as an actuary, you have to take exams like twice a year and maybe 2 exams at each point in the year. So I didn't want to spend my spare time studying because I don't like studying under pressure. I like learning things now in my own time, but that's not particularly for exams. I also want to mention that in my jobs, I don't think, of course, this video is about creativity plus problem solving, and the creativity element was just not present in my actuarial jobs. You kind of have to follow rules and just kind of compute things, and it's very quite rigid. And I guess that's what you would expect for something financial. So what did I do? I quit. And I quit with a very loose idea that I was gonna go into coding. And it started with me self-teaching games development. So this has kind of gone full circle to when I was in school and I made that game. And then I've realized, like, years later, oh, I like this. This is fun. I want to make games. I think the important thing that I realized when I started doing this games development is that I could be creative and I could be logical at the same time. And I think that's when it clicked for me that this is something that I like to do, because it's not just purely creativity in terms of like UI and the actual artwork, but it's creativity in the way you can approach solutions. There's not just one way. You can be creative about your own solutions. So I began this journey of games development, and then I kind of realized, okay, as a career, games development is, for one, quite hard to get into, and I didn't have any, kind of certification. So from this point of realization, I ended up pursuing software development just because I think games development is very hard to get into. Plus, I think software development jobs are more readily available, and of course I wanted a secure career. And of course now I'm 2 years in, and I really do not regret switching careers a million times, because this is what I think I'm meant to be doing. And what shows me that is, of course, I enjoy my job, but I also love learning about it outside of work, which might sound really sad to people, but I like working on my own projects and applying my knowledge and being able to understand the subject deeply, and I just have genuine interest in it. So I do think maths and art fit together, and that is because the creativity overlaps with the logic, because you are designing solutions. And of course, there is the UI side of it, which is art. I primarily enjoy back-end development, which is not related to UI. However, in my personal projects, of course, I'm one developer, I have to do it all. I do enjoy designing interfaces, and that is art. So if you do like maths and you like art and you've not thought of this before, really consider it and try it out. I think if someone mentioned this to me sooner, I would have definitely pursued it earlier, but it's just taken me the long way around. So yes, if you made it this far in the video, you probably are curious about development, and you're most probably good at maths and art. And I have a few videos on how you can approach learning development just to see if you like it in the first place. And it's really a good idea for you if you're good at both these things. So yeah, let me know what you think about the combination of art and maths equaling development, or if there's any other careers that you would suggest suits those kind of people. But other than that, I'll see you next time. I feel like there's a fluff on my face. Yes, I got it on first try.